going on, Chicago Tough sports fans? We are back with another video. We're here with our Week 4 Chicago Bears review. Anthony, I'm here with Paul and Scott.
Hi.
Hitman. Not Paul, I'm
Hi.
sorry, Hitman.
Hi.
So, what's going on, guys?
Paul.
Hi.
Hi. So, but before we begin, some exciting news. Something exciting happened. Thanks to Hitman. He made a Twitter page for us. So it's completely dedicated to our brand, Chicago Tough Sports. Yay. Get up and curtsy. Get up and curtsy. I don't
Hey,
go
you know
out
what?
until you curtsy.
Spin around.
No.
Take a spin.
No. I have to give a shout out to a buddy of mine. His name is Rusty. Part of the reason, the main reason why we have so many followers right now on our Twitter page is because he was nice enough to put it out to some of his friends and some of the people that he follows. So he put it out, and we got like a bunch of them. So
Thank you.
Shout out to Rusty for
Woo.
doing that for us.
Rusty with an R.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Rusty.
Yeah.
Woo!
Alright. That'll do it for the video tonight. Thanks, guys.
And now we just lost five followers with that. Good job.
Yeah.
Channel
Somebody's
just got,
fucking
the channel just got
sabotaging us.
deleted.
What?
All right, anyways. Well, the Bears won. They beat the Lions. What was it, 24-14, I believe? Final score.
Yep.
Saw a lot of really good things out of them, especially Justin Fields. He didn't do anything spectacular, like over the top, but I feel he played really good, solid quarterback this weekend. Oh, what do you guys have to say?
Oh, you go ahead, Scott.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they beat the Lions. Everybody saw it's just the Lions, but I mean, the Bears don't make the schedule. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a team they should have beaten. They beat them. And, yeah, I mean, and apparently Justin Fields played well enough that he's going to get benched next week. I don't know. But, yeah, no, but Fields, he looked like a rookie at sometimes. And then he also showed flashes of what he can be, you know. I mean, he threw some amazing passes on Sunday. So, I mean, yeah, the kid obviously has talent. And, yeah, I mean, it's just – and then, I mean, you can go back to the whole Nagy thing. I'm sure we're going to touch on it. But it's like you enjoy this win now while it's here. Like I said, you see flashes of this kid. The kid has a bright future ahead of him, I believe. And yeah, and then there's Matt Nagy trying to, you know, I don't want to say tear it down, but apparently Andy Dalton needs to play again. So I'll let Hitman take over from there. Yeah.
Well, I thought the Bears played a solid football game. You know, it's close to a must-win that they needed to have early on in the season. But the defense played extremely well. I believe they had 4 or 5 sacks during the game. What's encouraging is that you saw a lot of Ryan Pace's draft picks over the past couple of years play extremely well. Travis Gibson played pretty well, had a sack. Then, you know, David Montgomery, I'm sure we'll get into him a little bit. He played well. Darnell Mooney, Justin Fields. So it was good. It was a good Ryan Pace day as well regarding that. Offensively, look, it's funny when you have a competent NFL play caller and how stuff can change a little bit. We didn't see a lot of what I wanted, which was the rolling pocket and changing of the arm angles and things like that. But what we saw was them committed to the run, and you run it basically an offense off that. I mean, they ran a lot of 3 tight end stuff, and they kept a couple of extra tight ends to help block. So they can get those deep shots that Justin Fields had to Mooney, and there was a couple passes to Allen Robinson that were pretty nice. And it's funny because that was funny because they ran this exact same offense the last 6 games of the season. The only thing that's different is the fact that now that you have a quarterback that can hit those deep shots, going downfield. But as far as Justin Fields is concerned, look, I mean, he played. He was solid. He was solid. I was still, a little pissed off at the fact that I wanted him to get his first touchdown pass, but David Montgomery got 2 rushing touchdowns, and Damian Williams got the other one. But overall, he was solid. There's still some things that he still needs to improve upon. Recognizing blitzes is one of them. He almost got killed, that first possession of the second half at the goal line where he just got pounded.
Really happy he got up. I didn't think he was going to get up.
Yeah, and then there was that sack fumble that he had in the fourth quarter where he just held the ball on too long, but he made a heady play just going to get the ball. But the interception that he threw, honestly, I mean, that was just a great play by the linebacker and the DB. The ball was tipped. Usually when the ball's tipped, bad things will happen. But if you go back and you look at that interception, and I hope this is something that whoever the quarterback's coach is for next year, whether it's DeFilippo or if there's a regime change, I'm really hoping that they truly work on his form. Because if you notice, he keeps the ball really low, and that could definitely make for a lot of tip balls as well. And he has a baseball motion too, because Justin Fields used to play baseball, so it's really long, and so I'm hoping that comes a little bit more compact. But once again, that's just me being nitpicky. But outside of that, he was solid. He was solid.
Good offensive game. I really especially enjoyed the run game with David Montgomery. When it comes to football, I'm more of a run game guy. The passing school, the spectacular catches that Mooney and Robinson made were really cool. But I just like that dog run game that Montgomery played, especially his second touchdown where you could see offensive linemen just push the pile into the end zone. I thought that was really cool, and that really shined for that offensive line, especially what they gave to everyone last week against the Browns. That was a huge step up and a huge improvement for them.
Yeah, I think that the offensive line played well, but once again, I draw that up as for 2 things. One, they were embarrassed, and I think number 2, I mean, they schemed it, and I think that especially on that second touchdown run, you can definitely tell that there was a lot of happy offensive linemen.
Yes.
Especially when they gave that last push. And there's nothing more demoralizing than a nice run game to a defense that's tired and worn out and demoralized.
Yep. Scott, you're quiet.
Yeah, no, I was just letting you guys go. What worries me now, I know that Nagy's not calling plays anymore, and now with the injury to David Montgomery, I hope that doesn't throw everything off. I hope that doesn't. Obviously, you're not going to get the same production out of the running back position now, you don't think. But, I just hope they don't fall into this trap, throwing 50, 60 passes a game now, and they go away from the run. But, I mean, who knows?
Well, it depends on who's calling it
last night. But exactly, that's what scares me. Because Nagy, we can get into Nagy now. That guy, I know he's got to talk at press conferences, but every time that guy talks, he bites his own or steps on his own feet. He won't. That press conference Sunday after the game, the post game, he said 3 times he was reminding us, the fans and the media, that he's the head coach. Everything goes through him. He didn't call plays, but just so we're all aware, he's still the head coach. I don't know if it's an ego thing with this guy. This guy's it's off the rail. It's it's almost like, I don't want to say it's crazy because with all the shit that's going on with like Urban Meyer, it's not at that level. But I mean, it's just for a head coach to be acting this way, it's just really odd. It's like he's jealous of what happened this past week. Like he's not getting the credit for it. His offense, his guru-ness isn't getting stroked.
Yeah.
His ego is not getting stroked, and like, yeah, I just he's a weird guy.
No, I
don't know.
think
Well,
I think you hit it right on the head. I think he's ego tripping. I think he's trying to power trip just by, like you said, he continuously reminded everyone that he was the head coach. He has this idea in his head where he's trying to be clever, and it's perfect in his head, but no one is acknowledging him. No one is giving him the respect he feels he deserves. So he's going to, I mean, in so many words, he's acting like a bitch. Hitman.
yeah, well, I mean, look, I said last week, we're starting to see the poster child of a selfish coach. It's really shameful because when he came around in 2018, I mean, everybody was happy. He brought this sense of confidence and club dub and stuff like that. But now everyone's starting to see for what he is. He's a con man. He's a I hate to lump this profession into it, but he's a used car salesman at this point.
Yeah.
He's really good at talking about nothing. Try to get his point across. But it's when you are a head coach, it doesn't matter who's calling plays or whatever. You're going to get the credit because at the end of the day, you are the head coach. So I mean, there's no need to remind people everything starts with me. With collaboration and stuff like that. No, there's really no need for that. And it's straight ego. His ego is bruised. Because his offense hasn't been up to snuff, and now he's seeing success. Based off of what happened in the last 6-7 games of last year, and the one week of this year when Bill Lazor's calling plays. It's if Matt Nagy was smart, which I know it's debatable, he would hitch his wagon to Bill Lazor, and at the end of the day, he's going to get credit, and the focus should be developing Justin Fields. That's the goal. That's the plan. It shouldn't be about Andy Dalton at all. It should be about when you trade it up to and basically in a way mortgage your future. That's all about them. But I truly think, and we'll get into this, I'm sure, that they don't want to do all that stuff because they have some bad memories of hitching their wagon to another first round quarterback that they picked. So but you can't think like that. You can't GM scared. You can't coach scared. You can't do whatever. I mean, Matt Nagy needs to get out of his own way. And until that happens, this is what you're going to get every single week. These stupid ass press conferences.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hitman, Hitman, like you. Sorry, Hitman. I think you were the one that said it last show when we wanted him fired. We still want him fired, but when we reacted to the Cleveland game, but. Yeah, I think you said it. Like, where's Ryan Pace in all this? Like, why can't he be like, no, Matt, you're playing Justin. Like, you're playing Justin. I'm sure Andy Dalton. I don't know Andy Dalton. I don't know. I'm sure he's a smart guy, but like, he's probably a good guy to have to help Justin along. I mean, he doesn't have to play to improve. He doesn't have to play to improve Justin Fields. I know they have the argument. I've said it before, the Patrick Mahomes argument. Well, he sat a year, so therefore, and then he was great. But then the argument against that always is, well, you probably just, while he sat, you wasted a year of Patrick Mahomes' greatness. I mean, there's no actual proof that sitting a guy means that he's going to get better. but I also understand there's no proof against that either. It's going the other way.
No,
So-
and I tend to agree with that. But that's why when Tony and I did the first show, I said that there's really no right or wrong way to
Right.
groom a quarterback. It's preference, but you know, our preference, fans' preference, is for him to get out and play because it's all about him. It's Ryan Pace's job that's on the line. It just like you said. I mean, if you know if Ryan Pace was truly in charge, which he should be, because he's in charge, then that's a conversation that needs to be had. You play him because look, this team is not going to the playoffs. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, look, a lot of the things need to go right for this team to make the playoffs. Hell, a lot of things need to go right for this team to win 8 games.
Right.
Especially with their next 6 games coming up. But Ryan Pace needs to say, play this dude. I mean, your responsibility as the head coach is to develop the quarterback, and the only way he's going to develop is if he's out on the field and he sees things in live action. He's going to learn. Andy Dalton, is able to get up from a hit, or Andy Dalton threw an interception. All right, well maybe I shouldn't have made that read. Play him, and the only time he's been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm good at interrupting. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the only time that Justin Fields should ever be benched is if, heaven forbid, he has an injury. Outside of that, he needs to be out there playing.
Agreed.
Yeah, to play devil's advocate a little bit, I agree with everything you just said. But like, it's a cool. I guess it's an interesting topic. Of Nagy's job is obviously to develop the quarterback, but his job is also, they'll tell you, to win games. I'll ask you two, who do you think right now gives you a better chance to win the game, Andy Dalton or Justin Fields?
It's Justin Fields.
Tough. Do you think so? See, I would think Andy Dalton, just the experience-wise. But I mean, I'm not saying I'm right about that, but
right. You see, my thing is that if I know he's going to make mistakes, but I also know that he's going to make 1 or 2 spectacular plays that I know that Andy Dalton is not going to make. Now,
right.
Now
but then there's mistakes that Fields is going to make that Andy Dalton wouldn't. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's a fun topic, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard to determine. What do you do? Do you focus more on development or do you focus more on winning? I mean, sorry, baseball.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's a fine line, I guess, to what's more important. Of course, the future quarterback is more important than this season. I understand that, but I mean, I know sometimes that's hard for people to accept,
But I think there needs to be a clear direction from ownership and Ryan Pace on what's more important.
Right, and that's the thing with this team. You have no idea. Everybody's going in every fucking direction, it seems, and it's like there's
and I'm pretty sure that Ryan Pace wants to see his toy play. I mean, that's I'm pretty sure that he wants to see that, and I'm pretty sure ownership wants to see that because Bernstein always talks about what gets you closer to winning a Super Bowl. Playing him now gets you closer because he's learning. Right. You're not closer to winning a championship if he's on the bench learning. You're just not. You're just not. So I just think that it needs to come from ownership. It needs to come from Ryan Pace on what the direction of this team is. And
honestly, I am sorry, I did it again.
It's all good. Go ahead.
Me being a Raider fan, this is a perfect week I'm telling you, the Raiders defense, because the Raiders defense now, I know we'll get into the Raiders as the video goes on, but the Raiders are getting to the quarterback now. Like they've improved on that tremendously. I don't know the stats, but I mean, trust me, compared to last year, they couldn't even smell the quarterback, and now they're actually hitting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 12
I
sacks
think-
within the first 4 games.
Yeah, like I think that's a good test for Fields because he could also. The Raiders' defense sucks. The secondary, I don't want to say they suck, but I mean they're not good. I guess I'll go.
Sure.
I'll say that.
Sure.
So I think it's a perfect. I think it's a perfect test for Fields. He'll have pressure on him, but he can also make plays because the Raiders linebackers don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I just think it's a perfect. I think it's a perfect matchup for him to learn. I do. I really do. I'm not saying win. I think the Bears can win. I don't think they
Sure.
will, but I'm saying, yeah, it's. I think it's a perfect test for him. I think this is a game where he can learn and improve big time. I honestly believe that just the way with the pressure coming at him, he can feel the pressure, all that. I know it sucks without David Montgomery because you don't have a full game plan, but
even without David Montgomery, I think the Bears can still run the football.
Yeah.
And Damian, as long as Damian Williams is healthy, Khalil Herbert, the draft pick from Virginia Tech, he's supposed to get some carries. He's kind of like David Montgomery, a little bowling ball with a little bit of speed, catch the ball a little bit. But I running the ball, as long as they commit to it, they'll be fine.
As long as the offensive line plays well.
Yeah, as long as the offensive line plays well and they can scheme it, they should be able to scheme it. I mean, Raiders are 23rd against the run. So they should be okay.
Their main guy, Scott, is Nassib, right? On the defensive line. What's his name? Carl?
No, they got. No, he's played well, but Max Crosby's he's the main guy. Yeah, Crosby's big white guy, tattoos everywhere, and then they got Yannick Ngakoue. He's been good too.
Okay.
So I mean, their line has improved a lot, but I mean their defense still, they're still giving up the run and. Yeah, everybody and Herbert yesterday. I don't know how much. I know nobody cares about Chargers Raiders, but Herbert missed a lot of passes yesterday. That game could have been much worse. It shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah,
but that's so. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. Fields might miss these passes too. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We don't know, but he needs to play. The only way he's going to get better is if he's out there and he's making those mistakes, and it's I'd rather for him to make those mistakes in year 1 as opposed to year 2 or week 11 or 12 when supposedly this original plan was supposed to come into place where Andy Dalton's supposed to play until the Bears are out of contention.
Right.
I go back to my original point. What's the direction? Is it about competing for a playoff, or is it about development, or are they're trying to do both? But I do think they can do both, just not with Andy Dalton.
Right.
Every game feels like out there. They're it's a setback for them.
Say that again?
Yeah, I mean, and we'll find out where they're at too, and I mean, in the next month or so, with the slate of games coming up. So if they lose 2 out of 3, I mean, you might as well just start. There's no reason why. I know they're not technically eliminated from the playoffs, but if you lose 2 of 3, 3 of 4, even 2 of 4, I mean. With the Packers, they're on a roll. I mean, unless they're going to go for a wild card, but I mean, there should be no reason to play Dalton after that. No reason at all.
No. And I think I said it last night at the bowling alley. Like, what's the point of drafting Fields, or even playing, or him being number 2? If you're not going to play him, or if you're not, then he should be your number 3, and Nick Foles should be your number 2. I don't like that plan either, but. If he's not going to start, then what's the point? I mean, this is not about Andy Dalton. It's not about Andy Dalton. It's not. Sorry, Matt Nagy. You need to stop. Mentioning Andy Dalton within your press conference. Yeah, every time they mention Justin Fields, he reverts back to Andy Dalton, like he owes Andy Dalton something.
Well, I'll break in right there, and I'll remind everybody, just so they're clear, that currently Matt Nagy is still the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Just throwing that out there for the Bears fans. I'm helping Matt Nagy out. I'll
I don't
remind.
I didn't get any Twitter alerts on that.
Yeah, that. I don't know. Yeah, Matt Nagy. It's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna give us a lot of shit to talk about. Apparently.
You know what? The thing that pisses me off with Matt Nagy, I'll just stick to this past game on Sunday against the Lions. So many good things, so many exciting things happened in that game. The Bears converted on 4th and 1. The 2 Mooney catches, the Robinson catch, the 2 David Montgomery scores. Alec Ogletree, in my opinion, I think he made a key play. I believe it was in the second quarter where he tipped the ball. That would have been a touchdown score. And all we're hearing about is Matt Nagy. I feel he's getting exactly what he wants. I don't think this is about Andy Dalton or Justin Fields or the offense or defense or anyone else. I think Matt Nagy wants this to be the Matt Nagy show, and that's what he's getting.
He's selfish.
Very selfish.
Again, and it worked year one. It worked year one.
He wants to remind everyone that he's the smartest person in the room. Number one, and number two, he's still trying to justify winning that Coach of the Year award in 2018. Which, yeah, he was the head coach. Like I said, when you're the head coach, everything reverts back to you.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, half those wins that they got that year was based off the fact that the defense was really special, and the defense was coached by Vic Fangio, who's no longer around. And that's the perfect point. Yes. And then you go with Vic Fangio staff with Ed Donatel, and I mean you got Sean Desai, who was part of that staff as well. But you know, a lot of those guys who were around for that defense are not around anymore. There's a reason why. Matt Nagy's an idiot, and they didn't want to work for him anymore.
And there are people that are backing him. This morning on the score, some asshole called in saying, "This is all part." I don't know. Did you guys listen at all?
I heard a little bit today, but no.
It was at like 6:45 this morning. I wake up really early in the morning. Some asshole called up and said, "This is part of Matt Nagy's bigger plan that he has that he's going to show everyone," or some shit like that. I wish I would have recorded it or something so I could play it on here, but it's just outright ridiculous what's going on with him.
Bigger plan? What bigger plan that is? I mean,
I have no idea.
There's no bigger plan with a 30-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. If Matt Nagy was smart, if he, once again, debatable, he would hitch his wagon to Justin Fields, try to develop him, let him play, let it be all about him. And then, you know what you can do? You can actually sell this to ownership and say, hey, this dude, this quarterback, developed nicely under me. Because right now, I have no faith that he can develop this kid.
And the thing is, too, that what the Bears did against the Lions this past week, it was so refreshing to see that they're throwing deep balls. This is the modern fucking NFL. Like, that shouldn't be something spectacular that we're like, oh my God, this is awesome. If Matt Nagy was the guru that he thinks he is, why wouldn't you want? Well, yeah, exactly. Like Hitman said, attach yourself to Justin Fields and then build your offense from that. Like, if he can't do that with a kid with all the talent as Justin Fields and he needs Andy Dalton, you know what I mean? Like, that's where his guru comes in. I don't understand that. That's not a guru. That's just that you got to adapt, adjust to what you have.
Matt Nagy took a.
He doesn't want to.
Really?
He doesn't want to.
I know.
He wants to run his scheme. Yeah. He wants to run the same stuff that he ran in Kansas City. But here's the problem. He's not fucking Andy Reid. Not literally, but he's not Andy Reid. He's not. He's not even Eric Bieniemy.
Well, he also doesn't have Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. He doesn't have all them either. So that, yeah, I mean,
Look,
it's a little easier that way.
true, but if he actually could adjust his game plan to the talent around him, you know, it would be so much better. You know, he's trying to. You know, I hate using this phrase, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. You can get it in, but it's going to be tough, right?
She said.
Oh,
She said. She said.
This is the sexual portion of this podcast. All right, I am
but you know, and that's what happened with the the first half of 2018. You know, they knew Mitch. They knew Trubisky couldn't run that offense, but they kept forcing it and forcing it and forcing it. He had some good games. He had some shitty games. He had some decent games, and then instead of incorporating the stuff that worked and applying it to 2019, they doubled down on the stuff that didn't work, and that's my issue. And then coming into this year, when he said he was going to take over plays, he said he learned. What did he learn? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't after that Browns performance, I mean, yeah, if you didn't learn anything. Yeah, that's a bad example to use.
The only thing that I've learned this year about Matt Nagy, actually two things. One, he's selfish, and number two, he's very good in that McDonald's commercial.
The McDonald's commercial.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you?
Should we move on? Oh, go ahead.
No, I want to play that little clip. I'm sure you guys heard his press conference on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Hitman, did you hear it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, what he said, true Bears fans like yourself, Hitman, like the diehard, hardcore ones, should be irate and pissed off the answer he gave when the topic of the quarterback situation came up. So I'm going to play a little clip. I don't know what copyright rules are on YouTube, so I'll just say we don't own this video. I just pulled this off YouTube. The question comes in around 5:15, and he gives the answer around the 5:30 mark. I'll make sure I got captions on here. Okay.
Players. And yesterday there was a lot of looking at what's going on with the defense. And that's a positive step right there, Frank.
Hey, will you explain clearly for us how you're gonna decide who's playing?
Yeah.
Solely on Dalton's health, or are you evaluating Fields' performance in light of the improvements from?
So when we work through this whole process, we got to see where Andy's at health-wise these next 2 days. That's important because, like we said this whole time, when Andy's healthy, right? When he's healthy, he's our starter. He's the one.
Now that's bullshit. In my opinion, now if I'm wrong, please tell me, Anthony, that's fucking stupid what you just said. What he did, he took a very encouraging win for Justin Fields, and he made it irrelevant. He turned it into an irrelevant, pointless win for Justin Fields by saying that. This kid finally goes out there. He throws 2 great balls to Mooney, a couple of great passes to Allen Robinson. He didn't throw the touchdown pass, but he didn't throw any picks. I don't believe he threw any picks.
2-1, but that was just a great play by the defense.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then to turn around and say, well, Andy Dalton is our starter, depending on his health. I would like to know what Justin Fields' morale is right now. I want to know if he's saying, what the hell am I doing here? What is going on? My talent, my career is being wasted here. If I were, I'm not even a diehard Bears fan, and that pissed me off when I heard that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go that far, say that Justin Fields' career is being wasted, considering the fact that he's only 4 games into his Bears career. I get your point, though. Um,
He's
my
halfway to
issue,
Michael Jordan status.
yeah, absolutely. But the whole thing is that he has this reverence for Andy Dalton that I don't think that it's warranted. I understand that they paid the money for Andy Dalton, but I it's all about Justin Fields. It truly is.
It should be all about Justin Fields.
It has to be. For this team to be close to winning a Super Bowl, he had. I don't know how many times I say this. The dude's got to play, but
Hey,
for
Scott,
some
can
strange
you check Matt Nagy's status on the head coach for the Bears? Can you check that status real quick?
Yeah, he sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I just think that there is a.
Oh, I know what you meant. I'm sorry. Yes, still head coach. Also sucks.
Yeah, but I just think that there's a point where, you know what? I'm just going to say it again. Until the family figures out how to run football and come out from whatever palatial space that they live in and come down and talk to the football people, this is what you're going to get. Matt Nagy is empowered because the GM empowers him, and there's really no one else that can say anything to Matt Nagy.
And now I'll reword what I said about his career being wasted. His time is being wasted. Justin Fields' time is being wasted. Valuable time towards his career is being wasted.
That's okay. I can roll with that because
if this continues and Nagy doesn't get fired and he continues to be the coach, his career will begin to be wasted.
Yes. Down the line, we could definitely make that argument. But I think for right now, I think that here, I would take your premise and go a little bit further with that. I think the time was wasted back in training camp when he wasn't getting reps for once.
Yep.
He should have been getting first string reps. Now, if it's a situation where Andy Dalton was getting 70% and Justin Fields was getting 30%, okay, fine. At least he's getting something. And then as you get closer to the regular season, you go 50-50. Or hell, you could have just made it an open competition, right?
Yep.
And it depends on who you hear, on the radio on how they looked at training camp. There's certain people that said that Justin Fields was great in camp and outshined Dalton. Then there's other people, particularly one person of mine, that said that Andy Dalton outshined, Justin Fields. It just depends. But, I would have preferred, an open competition, especially if you don't do this to a first round quarterback. Now, a third round quarterback, absolutely. But you spent collateral on this.
Yep.
You should play.
Agreed. Scott?
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on the topic. It's like you feel when we're talking about Nagy, it feels like you're going in circles, I don't know. Do we have any should we get to the prediction portion of do you guys have any Raiderish things you want to ask me?
Well, yeah, if we're done with the Matt Nagy, I was going to say let's move on to Bears Raiders Week 5, and I was going to say, Scott, you lead the way on that one.
Yeah, it's the Chargers showed. The Bears are more than capable of doing what the Chargers did to them, doing to the Raiders offense to slow them down. If you get pressure on Carr just fucking falls apart. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be. Do I think the Bears are going to win? If I had to bet, gun to my head, no. Can they win? Would it shock me if they win? No. No, because I think the Bears has that defense that can slow the Raiders down. And yeah, I mean, like I said, the Chargers showed you the way last night. Now I don't know if the Bears will put up points like the Chargers would, but who knows? I mean, it's possible. So, but
No,
I mean, I do think the Raiders' offense, though. I mean, I don't think it's going to play that bad, but I mean, who knows? I mean, because that last night, that first half of the Raiders game, it was awful. It was embarrassing as a fan. But then, of course, they picked it up. It slowly started rolling into. They started looking like normal in the second half, and they almost came back. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could be a really shitty Sunday for me because the Raiders could lose to the Bears, and the Sox could be eliminated. Oh my God, I'll be on suicide watch.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
I'm going to eat myself. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because it's kind of like the battle of strengths. The Raiders are number 2 in the league in passing yards, and the Bears have a good pass rush. So I think that's a good matchup. What I'm as a Bears fan concerned with, outside of the normal issues of the idiotic, egotistical head coach. Matter of fact, I think from now on, I'm just going to refer to MN as the egotistical, idiotic head coach. That's what I'm doing. But
it's much easier to say.
Yeah. But I'm actually a little concerned in terms of the matchup with Waller. The Bears linebackers and safeties are going to have to be on their best game. Like Roquan Smith, who we all can agree is a stud, is going to have to play a mistake-free football game in terms of making sure that he's around and making sure that he's keeping his keys on him. And that's also the D coordinator to put in a game plan that's going to try to minimize Waller's effectiveness. Because look, he's going to get his 15 targets. That's
Well, that's the thing that Pittsburgh did. The Pittsburgh in week 2 against the Raiders, they completely took Waller away. But Carr's not afraid to go to his other guys. He's got Renfro. He's got Brian Edwards. He's got Henry Ruggs, who's actually being productive this year. He's got the other tight end, Foster Moreau. I mean, Carr is not afraid to distribute the ball. So, I mean, that's where Pittsburgh screwed up. And I'm telling you, the key right now is pressure on Carr. Carr, I'm a Carr fan. If you give him time, he's going to cut you up. He will.
Sure.
If he has time to pass, yeah.
I do think that you got to take away somebody. I mean, and
right.
I mean, and for me personally, it's Waller because that's his safety net. I trust Jalen Johnson to shadow Ruggs. I truly do. Now, when it comes to Renfro and Edwards, and they also will use Kendrick Drake out of the backfield as well. So plus, I think Josh Jacobs is going to be, his second game back from injury, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. He played the first game, and then he just came back last night, and they couldn't run the ball at all. So.
Well, and that's why I think the Bears defense should be okay. I mean, just like you said, they don't run the ball particularly well. If this was a situation where they didn't have talent behind Akeem Hicks, who's I think will not play Sunday, but I think they should be fine because I think Mario Edwards and Blackson can and also to get Eddie Goldman back last week, they should be okay stopping the run and also with Bilal Nichols. But if they can force the Raiders to be one-dimensional and just rush the passer, they'll be fine. I'm just like you. I don't know if the Bears can put up enough points But I think it might be one of those games where the Bears defense will have to score maybe 2 touchdowns for them to have a chance to win the game.
And I'll give Gruden credit too when he game plans for. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say it. He started doing it yesterday in the second half. They started finally clicking. He's really good about getting the ball out quick with Carr. So, I mean, obviously they didn't do that in the first half yesterday. Like I said, they started it a little bit. They do the quick slants. That's big with the Raiders. With Renfro, they'll do the quick slants. So the Waller, the tight ends will run the quick out towards the sidelines. That's what the Raiders do. And then they keep doing that, and then they try the deep ball to Ruggs, which, again, worked yesterday.
Well, that's why
So it's just,
that's why I think it's going to be on the linebackers and the DBs. If they're going to run quick stuff, you got to jam them at the line of scrimmage. You know, you got to, you know, because Gruden's from that West Coast family with that quick slants, quick outs and stuff like that. You know, but the way that you counteract that is you jam them at the line of scrimmage. And I think it's one of those games where I think Sean Desai might have to have his DBs play a little physical this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting. Like I said, I can see any outcome. I really could. I can see the Bears winning this game. I really can.
What's your final score prediction?
For me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'll say it's a close game. I'll go 27 to 24 Raiders. Maybe a last second field goal or something.
Hey, man.
10-10 tie. No, I'm just
yeah, the Raiders half of their games it went to overtime. So yeah.
It's tough. I'm like you, Scott. I mean, I see so many scenarios play out, but you know,
I could also see the Bears winning 27-24. You know, I mean, it's just,
you know, if I had to use my brain instead of my heart, I mean, I'm going to go, you know, Raiders. You know, 24-16, something like that. You know, but I think if the Bears keep it close, that I think they have a chance. But I do think that Raiders 24-16. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it will be one of the more interesting games to watch. And then I mean, quarterback too. I mean, who's the quarterback for the Bears? We don't have to get into that again, but I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. We'll just see. When did they announce? When did they announce it? Saturday. That
it announces.
Yeah. So
you know, the idiotic, egotistical head coach basically said that it all depends on what happens between today and tomorrow. So we'll know practice wise tomorrow if he's limited or if he's full participation. Or he didn't practice. My guess is he'll practice. He ought to be limited or full.
Well, I'm gonna.
Tony, what do you got prediction? Yeah.
Well, going off a couple of things, just going off, we don't know who the quarterback is right now, so I'm going to assume it's going to be a low-scoring game. Scott, you said Carr gets under a little bit of pressure and he kind of chokes up a little bit. I think that Bears defensive front, I think they're going to have a decent game. They're going to get to them a little bit. I'm going to go.
I don't mean he breaks down like for the rest of the game. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
If they get a hand on him, you'll see it. It'll happen. If they get a hand on him, he just drops. That's what Carr does.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fumble, so he just drops right away as soon as he gets touched, which is aggravating sometimes. But like I get what he's doing, and you know what John Gruden's going to do. He's going to eliminate. They did it in the London game. They eliminated Khalil Mack because he doesn't want Khalil Mack doing anything to the Raiders in that game.
And this is why, I think
that's the John Gruden ego right there coming out.
Right, but I think this is why a person like Robert Quinn, who's played well all season, this is a game for him. This is one of those, hey, earn your paycheck games. Because if they're going to take away Khalil Mack, then you got to come up and get 2.5 sacks,
Yeah.
to help that.
That's what I was going to say next.
They'll never say it out loud. Gruden will never admit it and say it out loud, but I
Oh.
guarantee you, behind closed doors, he's like, we have to do whatever we can to not make that Max look good, you know?
Right.
And they were successful at it in London, but I mean, we'll see about this week.
Yeah, I'm going back to my little prediction. I'm kind of banking on Quinn and Roquan having huge games. I think those two are going to be the keys for a Bears win this weekend. I'm going to go 17-14 Bears. I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. I think it's going to be all good defense, decent defense. I think it's going to be a lot of sloppy offense this weekend. And again, we don't know who the Bears quarterback is, so that's why I'm saying sloppy offense on the Bears end, because we just don't know yet.
Yeah, right.
But I think the Bears defense will keep them in this game. 17-14.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. I feel bad now.
Yeah, you could have said like, okay, we're done. I would have left. Then you could have said that, but that's okay. I still love you.
All right, that jerk left. Fuck the Raiders.
Whatever. Yeah.
So, I don't know what else you guys got. I mean, I'm pretty spent.
White Sox. Go White Sox.
Yes.
Tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, podcast tomorrow, not the White Sox.
Yes.
And a possible appearance from my brother too. Holy shit!
Oh.
Let's go around again. Tony, is my brother going to be on the show tomorrow?
No.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna go yes.
I'm going to say there's not a chance in hell he will be on the show tomorrow. And he's going to hear this too. I know he heard it last week. So yeah,
Yeah.
no way. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it'll be a fun show. It'll be a fun show.
Hey, Tony. Let's plug our Twitter handle.
Yeah, that's where I was going next. If we have nothing else on the Bears, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, Hitman made us a dedicated Twitter page. Yeah, look us up and follow us at Chicago Tough Sports Pod. Should be some good stuff on there. Feel free to ask us some questions. Leave a tweet on there for us, and we'll see where we can get. You know.
Yeah, we'll post our shows. It doesn't matter if it's the 4 major sports. We'll be posting. When Tony and I do our wrestling stuff, we'll post on there. But also, when you watch the show, subscribe. This is what we do. This is our text message thread coming to life, and we enjoy doing it. So we want to make sure that we put together a great show for our subscribers and just kind of go from there.
I am sad to say it's going to be unfortunate. My wrestling is going to be lacking. My viewing of pro wrestling now that baseball playoffs have started. I love the playoffs with baseball. So if there's a game on during wrestling, I'm gonna be watching baseball.
You're letting the people down already, Tony. You mother. Yeah.
So I'll try and stay on top of it as much as I can. That's what she said.
Yeah, please. Anybody watching this, if you made it this far in the video, you could at least hit the subscribe button.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, even if you don't like us, just hit it. That's fine. Even if you don't like Hitman, that's fine. Just hit the button.
Even
Many
if
people don't, so it's all good.
Even if you think Fields is more important than Jordan, or Jordan better than Fields, more important,
Yeah.
Yeah, like her.
That'll never be said on one of them. That'll never be said on one of our shows.
Never.
Nope, not at all.
Hey, I didn't bring that up. I'm just saying I was done. I threw my one shot. Tony did that.
Sorry, Hitman.
It's all good.
See, maybe you don't like Tony. If we
Now I
get enough
feel bad.
subscribers, maybe we'll kick Tony out.
Now I feel like a jerk. All right. Well, if you guys don't have nothing else, I think we'll end it there. Again, check us out on Twitter. Follow our Twitter page. Check us out on our YouTube page, and make sure you subscribe. So, if you guys have nothing else,
Do we ever explain the Chicago Tough thing?
uh,
no?
No, you guys go ahead. You take it.
Like Hitman, do you want me to say it? Do you want to say it? I don't know.
No, you can explain it.
It's like it's a joke. It's a play on like we're not saying like, oh, we're tough. You know, we're kind of making fun of that fact. I don't know if people realize that, but yeah, like you know, the people are, oh, they're not Chicago tough. We make fun of people like that. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing to say out loud. We're trying to gain subscribers, but
You know,
I mean,
the kind of
it's
people
just a joke.
the kind of sports fans that's aimed at Scott. When we went to the Michael Kopech game, the first game, the two
Oh,
dickheads
don't
who
even get me
behind us,
started. So I wanted to smack. Oh, I wanted
They
to slap him
said-
and his mother.
they said you are better off having 3 bad players than 1 really good player, right?
Okay, no, he said that about the catchers. He's like, I'd rather have 2 mediocre catchers than
Okay.
1 really good catcher.
Yeah.
Like that was dumber than anything Hitman's ever said. Like I couldn't believe that. Yeah, like that was. He said that out loud. He was serious. I wanted to slap him, but yeah, well, and that's why I don't like going to games. I don't like going to bars because you hear shit like that. And you don't want to say, you know, I don't want to be. I'm not going to start a fight. I mean, but Jesus Christ, 2 mediocre players are better than 1 good player.
yeah, but it's also a play on Kenny Williams, basically saying he's looking for players that are Chicago tough. You know, so
Yeah, right.
it's like what is Chicago tough? So Chicago Tough Sports Podcast. You know. Also, you
Like
can
fair
click on
weather.
that-
Like this is fair weather. You know?
Right, you can click on that little muscle icon that Tony made at the corner of your screen too.
Oh yeah.
Unless that's not there anymore.
No, it'll be there. Let me see if I can do it.
Okay, good.
It'll be right there in the corner of the screen.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we're professional now. Now we're bougie. I think we're bougie now.
Look out. We might have an intro too, right, Tony?
Yes, I'm working on a little intro video for our podcast. So
Oh,
hopefully it works. Hopefully I get this posted up tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow.
cool.
So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. And tomorrow, White Sox.
Yep. Should be fun.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Yep. You too.
Good night.